2020 was a year with health crises and natural disasters, forcing everyone to adapt to new realities. Ahead of us are many shared challenges on an economic, geopolitical, social and climatic level. It'll also be a year with shared knowledge. The future of the coronavirus pandemic will largely depend on two things, according to experts: the strength of immunity people build against the virus after being exposed, and how the vaccines will be effective. In Europe, based on solidarity, there'll be a vaccine for everyone, and there's a recovery plan for the revival of economies. In the US, the Trump era ends and Joe Biden's era will begin. The new president-elect has arduous tasks: to keep a pandemic under control that has claimed hundreds of thousands of lives and to heal a country torn by racial violence and protests. Biden has promised to rejoin the Paris Agreement on his first day in office. The accord sets out a global framework to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees and pursues efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees. It's hoped that in 2021, the European Migration Pact will encourage member states to be more supportive of each other to avoid the concentration of immigrant populations and to strengthen the fight against illegal immigration. Global recovery is unlikely in 2021. It'll take much longer to recover fully from the shock caused by the coronavirus pandemic than initially expected. That's according to the warning from the President of the European Central Bank. Christine Lagarde also stressed the danger of protectionism. And we will begin to see the start of the impact of Brexit on the European Union. Britain will finally leave the EU on January the 1st. There'll be new rules for businesses, trade and British people living in the UK and abroad. So let's look at the calendar. Brexit starts for real on the first day of the year. Biden will be inaugurated as the 46th president of the US, scheduled for Wednesday, the 20th of January in Washington, D.C. There'll be a parliamentary election in Bulgaria after mass anti-government protests in the second half of 2020. The Kosovo parliament will elect a new president after Thatcher's resignation because of the Hague indictment. There'll be Scottish Parliament elections on the pro-independence vote, where there are calls for another referendum. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced the World Economic Forum in Davos to move to Singapore in 2021. The Eurovision Song Contest should be back in May, after it was postponed because of the health crises. In June, Iran will choose its president. The country continues to face a severe economic crisis. Then in September, it's the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. There'll be legislative elections in Russia in September for a new state DUMA. Also in September, it'll be the German federal election for the 20th Bundestag. And in October, the Czech Republic will renew its parliament.